Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm laughing because I'm trying to make this video, and Ian and Maxwell are yelling at me. I don't know why they're yelling at me. Ian, please.
Hi.
And I'm like, go away.
That totally wasn't scripted at all.
It wasn't scripted. I'm trying to make this video. If you want to come say hello, sit down then. Sit down. Oh.
What about? What?
Shut the door. Shut the door, Maxwell.
What's the video about?
Come sit. Now, what? This is not scripted, if you can tell. But Max, and I'm trying to make a video about the questions, but very quickly, what? Here's. Oh, he's just distracted. We were talking about, somebody asked, focus. We were talking about, somebody had asked about, I'm making videos about me answering questions, trying to make this short and sweet. Somebody says, why don't you do a live video? And I said to you, I said, I don't know what that means, and I don't want to do that because I can edit things out.
Yeah, but with a live stream, you can't do that.
With a live stream. Now, Maxwell is on TikTok,
YouTube, Twitch, all the things.
Maxwell does live streams with video gaming, with making Lego cars and things like that. So he knows the ins and outs of live streaming, and we were going to make a video about that, why I'm hesitant and why. What did you say immediately?
And I saw you have to mentally be prepared about what people are going to say.
Yeah. So what if somebody, I don't understand it though. You said over here will be my live camera and over here will be a
chat feed.
Chat feed. Now, I can't see those people, correct?
You just see their usernames.
You see their usernames and you see what they're saying.
Yeah, like hi, good morning.
Okay, and then I would go, hi, Wanda, hi, the Hawkeye quilter, hi, whoever comes up.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Okay, but if it's a horrible person, because I do occasionally get horrible people that on my private master page that I can block or delete, I get horrible people. But if someone's horrible on a live, other people can't see that, or can they?
Everything is live.
Everything is live. So I can't be like Maxwell.
I'm totally not getting distracted.
Okay, anyway. I'm thinking about doing a live. Maxwell will help me set it up, maybe.
Or
maybe not.
Yeah, I'll probably do like a test live without Mother in it. It will just be me just setting up on how stuff.
On my channel?
Yeah, on yours.
So my quilter people, my lovely people, who want to know how to make a 1/4-inch seam. They're not horrible people.
You don't.
I don't know that. Maybe
you don't know,
maybe
because
you guys
with the live people
are horrible people.
Hey,
they're not horrible. Who's watching me? That's horrible.
I'm not saying that, but lives in general, you can't avoid
horrible people.
Yeah, you can't avoid them because.
Well, then I don't want to do one because I have zero tolerance for people.
Well, the thing is, everything is your raw reaction. Like nothing is like you can't edit anything out.
This is raw.
I said this is raw, but there's a difference between behind a recording versus behind a live stream.
Okay.
They're two different avenues.
Well, somebody who asked. Okay, thank you, Maxwell. You can leave now.
Why? You kicking me and your autistic son out so soon?
I'm kicking my autistic son out. Did you want to leave or did you want to stay?
I don't know. Well, what
I'm doing right now, Maxwell, is I'm answering a question. I was saying I was doing small, little, tiny, little answering questions, and this question. Do you want to read it? Do you want to read this from Wanda? Wanda? Do you want to read that?
No, you can.
No, read it. You can read it.
No, I don't want to read.
Do you know how to read?
I don't like reading.
I know you don't like reading, but read it. We're live. People are going.
No, this is just a recording.
I know, but I won't edit that out because I'd like you to read that. There you go. You're an excellent reader, Maxwell. You're an excellent reader when you put your mind to it.
That is true.
And you're humble too. No, we have at our congregation, Maxwell does 5-minute Bible readings, and I'm telling you, he's one of the best readers. Mind you, how do you practice for it?
I listen to
You
it.
listen to the audio, you listen, and then he opens the Bible and he follows along before he even starts reading.
I've only read it like 3 times.
Three
before.
times this Bible reading, but boy, oh boy, when he goes to read it, the emphasis. So out of the blue, try to read that. This is from Wanda. Come on.
What a great idea. I definitely have a problem and I could use your expertise. I struggle with cutting 2.5-inch strips from a 45 width of fabric without getting a bow in the strip. I live in a tiny apartment. I only have a very small table and cutting mat. My cutting mat is 12 by 18 and I have an 18-inch quilting ruler. I have to fold the fabric in order to fit on the mat to maintain the 44 to 45-inch length. I try to be very careful, but I'm doing something wrong. Thank you in advance, Wanda.
Thank you very much. Excellent, excellent. So do you want to stay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Nah. So I'm going to answer that very quickly. Wanda, I've done a little tiny tutorial for you on how to cut 2.5-inch strips on a very small area, very small cutting mat. As you know, I have a very large cutting mat. I have very large rulers, but I've tried to imitate what you have. A small cutting mat, 45-inch fabric, cutting it into 2.5-inch strips, sort of how to square up the fabric on your small little space with your small ruler and your small apartment. And without getting a bow in it. So that's what I have done, and I'm going to be putting this video up. Again, maybe 10 minutes. Sorry you folks if you want it done in 2 minutes. I can't do that. I like to chat. One of these days I may be doing a live. I have a lot of other questions, quite a few questions that I could not answer in 5 or 10 minutes. About free motion quilting. I have done 45-minute videos on how I've set up my machine, how I free motion quilt. That couldn't be a very short video. Oh, Sue Ann O'Hare, I find your long videos relaxing. How do you cut your hair? That's a question. That's so funny. Oh, you're so pretty. You're very, very nice, Sue. I just take my scissors, I hold it up, and I cut it. Oh, that's so funny. But more quilting questions. I have quite a few here. If you've gone into my comments from my last video, or one of my last videos, I will try to be answering them. I have a few other videos in the can, scheduled, so we're a little bit all over the place. But this for now is for Wanda. I hope you enjoyed this video on how I cut 2.5-inch strips. All right, folks, enough of me. Bye-bye. See you later. Love from the True Loves. So, Wanda has asked about cutting 2.5-inch strips in a very small apartment or a very small table, very small space with a very small cutting mat and a smaller ruler. Now I have a large cutting mat, I have all the rulers in the book, but what I've done for Wanda, hopefully this makes a bit of sense, is on my cutting mat here, Wanda tells me that she has a 12-inch by 18-inch cutting mat. So for all intents and purposes, let me just come over here. I have put painter's tape. So this is my cutting mat. I'm not talking about that over there. This is my cutting mat. And Wanda has an 18-inch ruler, all right? This is an 18-inch ruler that I have here, okay? Now, hopefully, Wanda, you also have a small ruler. Even if this is a 6.5, even if you have a 4.5, you just need another small ruler for, I think, how I would cut a 2.5-inch strip in a very limited space. So I'm just working with this here. Now I've grabbed from my stash right off. It's a little bit from the fold marks. I've grabbed off a piece of fabric. The width of my fabric is the 44 inches. All right, this is my selvage edge here to my selvage edge here. As you can see, there is the writing. All right, now what I want to do is, this is right off the bolt. This is, I don't know how long I've had this piece of fabric. This is the fold that it comes from the off the bolt from the manufacturer, and I suppose this is where it was cut, and this over here or over there. But this piece, here is a little bit wrinkled, so I will, for all intents and purposes, use this part here. Okay, but my cutting mat, which is on my small table, is just this size. What I would do in an ideal world, Wanda, is I would go over and I would press, iron this really well. All right, you can leave the fold here. What I want to do, the most important part of this is, I want to make sure my selvages are absolutely together. All right, absolutely. Now, pretty much from the manufacturer, the fold is pretty good. All right, pretty good. This bottom fold here is pretty good, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is, there's a fold here where it was on my cardboard, but I'm going to go up here. I'm going to take this fold. Now this is the size of my cutting mat, and I'm going to take that manufacturer's fold and I'm going to square it up with my selvage. Okay, and there's my fold there, and here's my selvages down here. All right, now I can see immediately that from the manufacturer this has not been cut straight. Okay, I'm going to put this on a line here and on a line here, and on my small cutting mat I'm going to take my ruler, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the bottom of my ruler, which is nice and square, with the bottom of my mat. Okay, now you will have this mat also, Wanda. You will have this size mat. Okay, your ruler is going to go off your mat, but we are just working with 1/4 of the fabric. It's been folded and folded again. So I'm going to line up my ruler on the edge here, and I'm going to go in about, well, it's a little bit, it's about 1/4 inch there, and it matches up there. So I'm just going to take off that bit right there. Okay, just take that little bit off. Now, without shifting anything, I'm going to take my other ruler here, and I'm just going to go over, leave everything as it is perfectly. I'm going to go over, and I'm going to find my 2.5 inch marking on my ruler. Again, I'm keeping this ruler nice and straight here on the bottom of my mat. I'm going to find my 2.5 inch mark, which again is right there on whatever ruler you have, and I'm going to line it right up with that cut edge that we just cut, really nice and straight. I'm going to move it up to there, to that sort of fold up there. I'm going to bring it down. I'm looking at this line right here. If anybody knows me, I like to cut with 2 rulers. I like to cut anything, but there's my 2.5 inch strip. Now I'm just going to hold my ruler here, and there is my 2.5 inch strip on a small area. Okay, now as you were saying, is it going to bow? Is it going to have that kink in the middle? Well, let me take this off and let me just see if is bowing or if it's kinking. And I think I've cut that pretty straight. I don't think there's any little kink in there. This is the center right there. It's 2.5, 2.5, and there's no deviation like that. And there is my 2.5 inch strip. You just have to make sure that when you fold it yet again, that there's no there's no folds or there's no tucks in that second fold up there. But I hope on this small little area you have seen how you can cut your strip. Let me do that again. I'll just cut another strip. Here's my little cutting mat. I'm lining everything up on my board, my selvages, my fold, and then I'll do another one. I'll make sure again that that strip where I have just cut is still nice and square. I might want to take off a tiny little shred yet again. If you can see that, just take off that little shred, and then again get my ruler, find my 2.5 inch strip, because you probably want a project with 2.5 inch strips from your yardage. So all you're doing is making sure everything is square, nothing is tucked, everything, I mean, measure, measure, measure. That's right up there. Perfect 2.5 inch. Take your time, hold your ruler. Whoops, it shifted a little tiny bit. So come back. Oh, somebody did say, I have seen her, Donna Jordan, she puts a 5-pound weight on the edge of her ruler. What a good idea. But this is just a small little mat we have here. I'm just doing it to the size of your mat, Wanda. I'm moving my rulers yet again. There's my 2.5 inch strip. I don't think I'm going to have any little curves or bows. There's my strip coming along. There's my strip coming along. There's my strip. And there it is. Nice and straight. There you go. So again, I hope this helps. That's how I would do it on a small little area. Your 12 by 18, your 12 by 18 ruler. It's always better to have a larger surface, but by all means work with what you have. Use your 2 rulers. I think 2 ruler cutting method, you really get nice, even on a small little area and on your small table. So I hope this helps. Wanda, you have some nice straight 2.5 inch strips. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.